Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing today? Happy Tuesday. Hometown dates on The Bachelor just happened last night, and Clayton has narrowed his journey down to just 3 remaining women. And we've got all the details you need to know on hometowns and our predictions for next week and the week after. It's going to be a crazy journey. But before we get into it, you guys know the drill. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and start chatting now in our live chat because we'll be going over questions and comments and opinions later on in today's live. As always, I am your host, Zachary Reality, joined by the lovely Gianna Gravelisi and the talented Gabby Gonta. Gianna, Gabby, how are you guys doing? What did you think of last night's episode?
I'm doing amazing, Zach. Thank you so much for asking. And last night's episode, it's so funny because we have had nothing but drama this entire season. Like with the
Mm-hmm.
Shanae and the Elizabeth and Shanae and then Mara and then Sarah. Like last night was the
The
first
shrimp.
episode that just the shrimp. It didn't have any drama. There wasn't any arguments, nothing. And it was like kind of a breath of fresh air, but I like low key missed the drama in a way. So I was taking some getting used to getting into the serious episode last night. But I was so relieved to finally be at hometowns, and I'm kind of ready to wrap this season up a little bit.
For sure.
Yes, I agree. I saw a tweet that said hometowns are the best week of the season. And I'd have to agree because I don't know, it just we really finally get to meet these girls. I feel like I didn't know Susie did jujitsu. We got to know them better. We introduce all these new characters that are their family members, which are always so fun to watch. So I really enjoyed this week. And I'm ready for the last few episodes to find out what happens with Clayton and the girls.
Yeah, and this is just a really solid final four. I mean, Serene, Susie, Gabby, Rachel, like all of them are so dynamic. They all are true class acts. I really am rooting for all of them in my own way. So it is refreshing to have no drama. But Gianna, don't you worry. Next week, the Women Tell All, there'll be plenty of drama, and we'll give our predictions for that at the end of today's live. But we got to talk about some of the heart-wrenching moments on tonight's or last night's episode with the hometowns. Gabby, I'm sure you have some opinions on the family members, so I'm excited to get into it. We got to start with Susie, who did her hometown date in Virginia Beach. Now, Susie got so emotional talking with her dad last night. She was very concerned that her dad would not be able to make it to her future wedding. And we just saw her open up and cry, and we saw that different side of her during the day with the jujitsu. Gabby, what did you think of Susie's date overall, and what was your takeaways from it?
I thought it was really fun. I love, of course, hometowns when the girls get to plan the dates and kind of make it their own. And they really got to go to their hometowns this season. I forget if this was the first time they did that, but in recent seasons, they kind of all just went to one place and we didn't really get to see their hometown. They tried to emulate it,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't
Yeah, yeah.
fully their hometown. So it was really nice to see that, and I thought Susie's family was just amazing. I mean, the way her dad was hyping her up, I was like, I want to be Susie's best friend. I think I'm falling in love with her. Like, she's the best. So I really thought this is a great
Yeah.
date.
Yeah, because the last couple of years, because of, COVID-19, they've had to kind of bring the families to Nemacolin or New Mexico, wherever the season was being filmed, Palm Springs. But this year, they're able to kind of leave the country. As we saw, they went to Croatia and Vienna, Austria, and we got to kind of see all of the girls in their elements. And seeing Susie in her element, for me, was so fun because Susie is probably my favorite out of the four, if not one of my favorites of the whole season. Gianna, what did you think of Susie's date? Do you feel like her and Clayton really, solidified their connection and their relationship? Didn't she say she was falling in love with him?
Yeah, I mean, she's the one that took him up to that bell tower when they were out of the country to tell him that she was falling in love with him even before
Mm-hmm.
hometowns. And I feel like their relationship
Yeah.
is just growing and growing, especially last night when he met her family, obviously. And I just think it's so funny because we have to remember Susie is a Disney princess. Like she's played Cinderella, she's played Snow White. And she had her princess dream when Clayton was buying her those fancy dresses on the last date that they had, and then we see her do jujitsu and take Clayton down. It was such a lovely comparison to give us a reminder that she's not just this girly girl, but she's this amazing, confident, bad bee of a woman, you know? She's amazing. So I really like her and Clayton together. I don't think that she's going to be it at the end of the day because I think Clayton really has stronger connections with Gabby and Rachel, honestly. But, and I hate to say this, I don't even hate to say it. I think Susie deserves better than Clayton, to be completely honest with you.
Ooh.
Mean, I don't think Clayton is all that in a bag of chips. I just think he's mediocre. And I think Susie can do way better. Susie for Bachelorette, honestly, like, that's just what's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Well, maybe she can do better because when she had her one on one date last week and she had the Pretty Woman date or the week before and she was trying on all those dresses, it really felt like foreshadowing to me. I feel like Clayton reminds everyone of Colton. And who was the Bachelorette after Colton? Hannah Brown. Who does everyone think that Susie reminds them of? Hannah Brown. Like, it really only
Um,
makes sense. And I know we're going to go through the clips later, but there's this one moment where Susie's like walking away at the dinner table in next week's teaser, which we'll show you guys. And I just feel like Susie's going to end up breaking up with Clayton and she could get that turnaround story and be the next Bachelorette. However, I think it's also important to notice that usually the Bachelorette is someone who's the most heartbroken. I know it's kind of changed in recent years, but a lot of times they like to pick the next lead who is the most heartbroken. So it is possible that it could be Gabby if she gets second place, if Rachel wins. We really don't know how it's going to end out, but we know that Susie ended up getting a rose and she's in the top 3. Gabby, what are your thoughts on Susie's future, Gabby's future? Because we're going to start breaking down Gabby's hometown date next.
Yeah, well, I think you mentioned it right at the beginning that these girls are all amazing, right? These top 4. So I don't see any reason why one of them might not become our next Bachelorette if it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work out with Clayton. So I could definitely see that. I mean, Susie, clearly a great choice. Like you were comparing her to Hannah Brown. Hannah's was
Mm-hmm.
such an iconic season. I mean, I remember that one, not even liking Hannah that much during Colton season, but then when she was a Bachelorette, I really liked her, and I already like Susie, so I really feel like I would like her Bachelorette season. But of course, Gabby was like
Yeah.
so fun and just funny all around. So I don't know. Yeah, I would love to see that, or even Serene, or anyone else from earlier on in the season as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of great options. And guys, I have heard they're shooting The Bachelorette. They're starting to film in the next couple of weeks. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got some updates or maybe some leaks in the next week or two. So we all need to keep updated. And obviously, we'll let you know if we hear anything. The next hometown date of the week went to Gabby, who took Clayton to Colorado. They went hiking in the mountains. Gabby, told Clayton, beware of all the bears. Many fans were really touched by Gabby's close relationship with her grandfather, but the moment with her father touched Bachelor Nation even more. Gabby thought her dad was not going to show up because he was being extremely cautious with COVID at the time, but he did show up 6 feet apart, holding up a series of signs, letting Gabby know how proud of her that he is and that he cannot wait to meet Clayton. Gianna, I mean, give us the rundown on Gabby's date. What did you think of her relationships? Her family really melted everyone. I mean, this could be her case for the next Bachelorette over Susie because she had everyone in tears last night's episode.
Last night when I was watching Clayton meet Gabby's family, I was like, I love Gabby's family. Like they were all drinking their white wine. The mom was like being so open and welcoming to Clayton. Like I felt like I could have walked in that room and everyone would have welcomed me as a whole. And then of course, we kept seeing that preview this entire week leading up to last night's episode of Gabby's grandfather kind of grilling Clayton, which we all knew this was going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. They really, really edited that preview to make it look like Gabby's grandfather wasn't really approving of Clayton. But at the end of the day, he really was, but he was just telling her to be careful. And, they tied in that clip of Gabby running outside and crying to make it seem like she was crying over her grandfather saying that Clayton was full of bleep. But that's not how
Mm-hmm.
the date went at all. And I was so pleasantly surprised because of it. Loved her grandfather, loved the fact that her dad showed up. I was a little confused, like, why he wasn't speaking. Did I miss something about that? Like, my friend and I watching were like, is he mute for some reason. Or did I miss
Yeah,
that? I was
I
confused.
was confused about that as well. So if you guys are listening, let us know in the live chat, or if you listen after, let us know in the comments. I also was confused about Gabby's relationship because I thought she talked about not talking to her mom anymore on her one-on-one date earlier on in the season, and then we saw her
Yeah.
mom on the episode. Did you catch anything, Gabby? Did she address that, or what did you kind of think of her family as a whole?
Yeah, I think her family was super cute. I mean, it really reflects how fun and funny she is, so I love that. Her relationship with her grandpa, like, that was amazing. He was such a fun character. Everyone was saying, "Grandpa John for, senior Bachelor, that would be so fun."
Yes.
So yeah, I love them. I thought it was just, like, a really good dynamic. I almost feel like Gabby and her entire family has too much personality where Clayton like kind of doesn't. He's kind of a little bit more bland, so I feel like she maybe needs someone a little more fun and lively. I think he, fits in okay, and I think they do have a connection, but I don't know if I could see that working long term really. But
Mm.
yeah, I really like that. I mean, it was definitely cool that they brought her dad as well. I was kind of confused why they didn't talk. I know they don't want to spread COVID or anything, but you could like talk from across the street. Maybe they just want to do like a whole cute thing with the cue cards. I don't really know. But uh yeah, I mean, I love Gabby, obviously. I am surprised she
You
lasted
are
this long.
Gabby.
Not surprised, but it's yeah, I am Gabby. I just have a strong bond and a connection to her, right? It feels very weird to be talking about her when she has the same name, but it's funny.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah, let us know if we're missing something because I have more questions for Gabby and her family, and I would love to be on, the next time that Gabby has everyone together. I would love to go to her hometown. I was really vibing with her family. She ended up scoring a rose from Clayton at the rose ceremony, so she's in the top three. We saw in the teaser, though, for next week that Gabby will definitely be in that scene where Clayton tells the remaining girls that he slept with them. So, how do we think this is going to play out with Gabby, Gianna? Do we think she's getting the final rose? Do we think she slept with Clayton? It seems like she did, but we'll kind of, go through the clips. But Gabby for Bachelorette, Gabby for Paradise, Gabby for Clayton. What are your final thoughts, Gianna?
Oh, Gabby for Paradise right away. I just put her in that category because of how goofy and fun she is. I can see her in Mexico living it up on that island, having a grand old time. I think there's so many other people, again, out there better for her that can kind of match and complement her crazy personality. That's why I relate to her. I think like I'm equally as out there and a goofball as she is. And I love that we got that side of her throughout the entire season. I always get confused because, like, riddle me this fantasy suites, we always hear that things go down in fantasy suites and
Hmm.
people are usually intimate. So Clayton is just fully admitting, in the fantasy suites, I was intimate with both of you, which I'm sure contestants have done in the past without openly saying it. So as a woman, like, yes, I would be like, what the heck? You're sleeping with me, you're sleeping with her, you're sleeping. But isn't that the way that the show goes? Like, didn't they know that kind of going into it? Again, I'm not for it, but isn't that what usually happens?
Everyone's kind of been saying that online, and I don't think that happens every season. I know with Hannah Brown, she admitted that she slept with Peter and she slept with Jed, but I don't think the lead actually, is fully intimate with each of the women. I think that they're definitely getting a
Hmm.
little handsy and having fun as they should, but that's also what you sign up for on this show. He has to kind of figure out who his best option is, and sometimes you need to test the car before you buy it. So I'm not mad at Clayton. I feel like we have to see how the scene plays out. But the key thing is, and we're going to get into it, I know we can't stop, but it's like he says, I was intimate with both of you. Both means two, not three.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't be
Yes.
surprised if somebody went home on their one-on-one dates, as in Susie, and there's only two girls left, and then he has to tell them. But we'll talk about it. I want to get into Rachel's date because we're gonna save Serene for the end. Rachel took Clayton to Florida to meet her family. She warned Clayton that her dad has never liked any of her boyfriends in the past, so that he needs to be prepared going into their hometown date. But I don't think her dad ended up being that intimidating. Gabby, what were your thoughts on Rachel's date and her family?
Yeah, I mean, I loved Rachel. I was also waiting for the dad talk with Clayton to be some kind of explosion, and he was gonna be completely unreasonable and, like, mean and all of that, and he was giving, like, a mad dog face for the entire time, but, by the end, we learned it wasn't that bad. He's, like, definitely a softie, definitely, like, a daddy's girl type relationship with Rachel, and especially when they had their talk together, like, he was like, if you like him, like, I am for it. So it definitely wasn't as bad as they were hyping it up to be. But I don't know. I thought it was like a cute dynamic that they have where everyone was fun and playful, and then the dad was like in the corner being tough and being, as a dad should. So
So who do you think was more intimidating, Gabby? Gabby's grandfather or Rachel's dad?
I think definitely Rachel's dad, just because they were hyping Clayton up so much that he was like nervous for what was going to happen. Whereas I feel like the
Hmm.
grandpa, I mean, he just told it to you straight, but he was funny about it too.
Yeah, the grandpa was hilarious. And we also know that Rachel lost her voice as last night's episode. She was really raspy and she took to her Instagram to, post a picture of her with tissues in her nose saying that anyone who had to listen to my voice deserves financial compensation, which I thought was hilarious. Gianna, how do you think Clayton meshed with Rachel's family as a whole? Because clearly she is everyone's front runner choice. She's your prediction, she's my prediction. Do you think that they, set the foundation on this date? Do you feel like he was ultimately accepted by the family?
Yeah, absolutely. I also love how you mentioned the thing about Rachel losing her voice because that was my one thought the entire date. I was
Hmm.
like, what is going on? And I mean, if you know me on shared news, you know half the time I sound like that. So I couldn't judge too hard. But I think in terms of Clayton meshing with Rachel's family, as he said, he got that pat on the shoulder from Rachel's dad at the end of the day, which is his version of solidifying his relationship with the father in a way. So I think all was well. Like we said, no one had any outbursts, no one was really intimidating. It was kind of seamless in a sense. And I think that that's a really good sign when it comes to somebody meeting the family. So, and I also
Hmm.
think, with like we said, Gabby, she's on a level of cuckoo along with her family, and Clayton's like not like that, which can be detrimental to relationships. And I think that Clayton and Rachel are like the same level of human. They're both kind of calm, they're both kind of funny, they make little
They
comments.
fit.
Um, yeah, so I think that they're a really good fit, and I think that's another reason why we think that she's going to be the one at the end of all of this.
They just seem really natural together. They go together. It seems like Rachel has
Mhm.
gotten so many group date roses, and I want them to be together. I feel like they would be really good. And I guess we'll kind of have to see what happens because Clayton still could end up single because obviously there's something really dramatic coming next week. But before we talk about that, we have to talk about our girl Serene. She took Clayton home to Oklahoma. They went bungee jumping. It seemed like Clayton was so scared to jump, which I would have been too. I don't really like heights that much. Serene introduced Clayton to her family, and Bachelor Nation fell in love with Serene's brother. Ultimately, Clayton did not end up giving Serene a rose, and when she asked him why, he assured her that she did nothing wrong. There's nothing she could have said. He just had stronger connections with the other three ladies. And there we have heartbroken Serene. So upsetting. She was such a class act this entire season. So graceful, so beautiful. She's only 26, so she will definitely find her person. She did post on Instagram that she cannot wait to meet somebody that she is just really over the moon and excited about. So, Gabby, what did you think of her date and her goodbye? Do you think she was blindsided?
Yeah, I really loved her date. I mean, I feel like she was kind of not as much of a front runner as the other girls, so we didn't get to know her as much, but we definitely got to know her better, at least at this hometown. And I don't know, I mean, Clayton and her were really vibing and they had a good time. So I was definitely sad to see her go. But of course, like you were saying, she handled it so well. She literally did not cry a single tear for this man. She was just like a little upset and then moved on with her life. I'm like, okay, that is goals for me.
And who do you think, Gabby, Serene would be good with in Paradise? Or do she has a shot being the next Bachelorette?
Yeah, I definitely think she could be the next Bachelorette. In Paradise, she might have more fun, and I think we might get to see like a funner personality from her as well. I would say maybe Ivan
Justin.
or
Ooh.
Justin, like those would be good ones, I think.
Yeah, that's not bad. What about you, Gianna? What are your final thoughts on Serene? Who do you want to see her with in Paradise if she decides to go?
Serene was so stunning. I wish we did get to know more of her throughout the season, so it's unfortunate. But I hope we get to know more of her in Paradise or wherever she goes next. I could see her with Andrew S. Like, call me crazy. He's the first one that popped into my
Ooh.
Ooh.
mind. Just because he's, I feel like, soft spoken yet so funny, and like she is the same way. She's soft spoken yet she like comes out of the gate and she's so confident. Like I feel like they'd be such a good balance together. I don't know, maybe that'll happen, maybe not, who knows, but I'm shipping it, I'm manifesting it right now.
We'll ship it for her.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
We'll ship, and ship. Well, we got to pour one out to Serene because she was upset. And, everyone give Serene a follow on Instagram. She's a little bit behind the other top three ladies, but she is flawless and she deserves all the follows. So give Serene a little bit of a Instagram follow, guys. So next week we have back-to-back episodes of The Bachelor. We have the Women Tell All, which I believe is airing Monday night, and then Fantasy Suites are airing next Tuesday night. So we're going to be really busy next week over here at Shared News. So make sure you guys subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you're never missing out on any updates, Bachelor Nation. We're going to start looking at some of these clips for next week, and then we'll give our predictions, and we'll be giving our predictions and stuff as we go through these clips. A lot to go through, and I mean, it's going to be epic. And then I guess after the final rose and finale is going to be in 2 weeks. So we have 3 episodes, Gianna. The season is almost done. Do you feel like this season went kind of fast compared to other seasons? Also, Gianna and Gabby, we are going to get a little break because we won't have The Bachelorette for at least until May. So we're finally going to get that break.
I said this in another video here on Shared News. For some reason, all the other seasons have flown by, but Clayton's season has been so tedious for me. It's just been like turtle speed. Like, I don't know if it's because of never ending drama, but I just feel like it's been on for the last year for some reason. And don't get me wrong, I've been enjoying it, but I'm just ready for it to be done. I want to see what happens. And I am so looking forward to getting a break. I feel like we have not had a breather in like years. Like the last year
Yeah.
or over a year. It's been
2 years.
insane. We've been giving updates left and right. We've had Paradise, we've had double bachelorette. Like it has been insane. So I am so excited to take a break, finally binge watch some shows, watch other reality
Mhm.
shows. So yeah, I'm all set with Clayton. Sorry.
Yeah. Gabby, what about you? How do you think the flow of the season went?
I agree. It was definitely on the longer side. I think it has to do with Shanae and how long her drama went on, how long her villain arc was, because it seemed like it just kept going. Um, but at the same time, we're here very close to the end and there's only a few episodes left. So I'm ready to wrap it up in a nice bow, however that is going to be. And then take a break as well and look forward to who's going to be our next bachelorette. And of course, Paradise, that's
Mhm.
like my favorite type of bachelor season. So hopefully that'll be super fun. And hopefully they will announce who the bachelorette is and maybe who's going to Paradise, within a reasonable amount of time because I am too impatient to like wait to find out who those are going to be. Even though I can wait for the season, I want to know who it's going to be.
Well, they might announce it after the final rose, which is, 2 weeks away. So we might find out the Bachelorette very, very soon, which is super, super exciting. I kind of feel like the season went fast, though. I know you guys said it went long. Maybe it started slow, but maybe just the time of year, like January, February, like, there's so much that goes on. So I kind of feel like it went a little fast. But let's start breaking down these promo clips. We're going to get them loaded up because Fantasy Suites are next week. Everyone's sleeping with everyone. It's going to be so dramatic. The tell-all is going to be juicy. Gianna, as we're loading these clips, what are you more excited for? The tell-all or Fantasy Suites?
Tell all. 1,000%. That's not even a question, Zachary Reality. The tell all is when we
Okay.
drink our wine and we eat our popcorn and the ladies go at it. We need to know what Shanae is going to say, what Elizabeth is going to say right back, and all the other ladies because we know that's going to be a huge topic of conversation. So bring on the drama.
Okay, Gabby, same with you, tell all or fantasy suites?
I agree, the tell all, but just by a little bit because since literally we got our first promo for Clayton season, I have been wanting to see
Hmm.
that moment play out actual in real time where he says like those clips that we keep saying. So I need to see that very soon or I'm gonna go
Okay,
crazy.
let's do it though. Let's look at these clips. We got 6 to go through. So the first one, here it is. Fantasy suites have arrived.
It's a dramatic Bachelor two-night event. This is Fantasy Suites. The stakes are high.
Where do we think they went? We see snow, and like they're obviously gonna leave the country. Are they going to like Iceland or Switzerland? And look at that. That must be Gabby in bed. She's the only brunette. It's gonna be super, super fun. Gianna, what do you think?
I'm not good at geography, so I could not tell you where they went. The only snow that I'm seeing is out my window here in Boston. Oh, so it is Iceland. That's gonna be really fun. We just found out. I've never been there. That
Ooh,
looks cool. That has to be Gabby,
that's
right? In
Gabby.
the
There's
water.
one brunette.
Okay, I love this. That looks
Yes.
amazing. That's very magical. And then she's in the bed with him. So this is gonna be very spicy. Like it's going to be spicy. And I think also
Ooh.
Clayton had a lot of lust, I guess, for both Gabby and Rachel. Their relationships were way more hands-on, touchy-feely. They even said it in the last episode. Clayton and Rachel acknowledge that they just can't keep their hands off of each other. So this is really huge when it
Mhm.
comes to that physical attraction.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's time to take things to the next level. So let's play our next clip because, as you mentioned, there's lots of physical touching going on. So let's take a look.
What happens on the overnight date
Oh,
I am in love with you.
will change everything.
I love you!
I love you too. Forever.
okay.
Ooh.
There we go. He said, I love you to Susie and I love you to Rachel. Gabby, this is not a good move, is it? I love you to everybody.
Absolutely not. I was trying to see who was in the shower. That is definitely a steamy one. It looked like Rachel maybe. Um, yeah,
Ooh.
I mean, I've obviously never been in this situation, but I feel like just knowing Clayton this season, he's been very like wishy-washy and kind of tough to make a decision. So I feel like he's just in love and kind of going with the flow still and really is in love with everybody because he doesn't really know the difference or what to do. He's just kind of living in the moment. So that's obviously going to come back to bite him and it's just going to make these girls fall for him even more and make it hurt even more when they find out.
And they must have changed the rules because back in the day, you were never allowed to say I love you until the end. And now I feel like you get an I love you, you get an I love you. He should have said I love you to Serene and Teddy before they went home. I'm just saying. So let's keep looking at these clips. The next clip, Clayton is worried about hurting someone. Well, no wonder. You can't break up with someone the day after you tell them you love them. But let's take a look.
Just don't want to hurt you, buddy. And I'm going to.
Oh my God, Gianna, how are these girls gonna take the breakup? We already said we think Rachel's winning, but then again, we really don't know. There's no proposal scene. Who do you think's gonna take it the hardest?
Ooh. Well, we have to remember, and I'm sure we'll see it, that scene of somebody who I think is Rachel crying on the stairs. Like, that
Mm-hmm.
is the hardest you could take a breakup or, a misconception or something. So I feel like it's going to be her. But I mean, if he breaks up with Susie, we haven't seen anything like with Susie yet. I mean, I'm sure we'll see something else. Um, Clayton really makes me angry. Like, I'm just sorry. That's all I have to say. This clip of him right here being like, someone's gonna get hurt. Like, Maybe it's because you told every single woman that you love them. You can't love multiple women. You don't know what love is, Clayton. You can't do that. You can be in love, sure, with multiple women, I guess, but don't say, I love you to multiple women, knowing that you're going to break up with them. He makes me so
This is
mad.
just
Like,
Yeah, this is just
oh,
like bad planning for him because like he know like these are the consequences of his own actions. He's the one who has to deliver the news and like, if you're firing somebody that you work with, if you're like breaking up, like that's a tough conversation and he's the one who's going to have to make it. So he's just like digging his own grave here.
mhm.
And that's probably why he's so worried about the backlash he's going to get, because we've seen the articles. He's freaking out. He knows what's coming for him, and it's not like Bachelor Nation has been super nice to him. And I have like really started to like Clayton the last 2 weeks. Like I'm not gonna say I'm a stan, but I'm really vibing with him recently. And I just don't want him to let me down when I finally decided that I'm like ready to be his biggest supporter. So let's keep watching because it's time for the bombshell to drop. We need to watch these next 3 clips very closely, people, because they're going to be very telling. So let's play the next one.
I am in love with each of you. And I also was intimate with both of you. This is exactly what I was afraid
See,
of.
right here. Right here, I feel like says everything. We need to like re-watch all of these frames because that is Susie walking away, right?
Mhm.
He said, I was intimate with both of you. I think Susie's gonna send herself home on this date. And once she finds out that Clayton's in love with all of them. Do you guys agree?
Yeah. Mhm.
You
Fully.
do.
Mhm.
Um,
Because
Looks like a
why
bad
else would he say
situation.
I was intimate with both of you when both is 2? Like Susie might not show up to the rose ceremony, but then does Susie even get an overnight date? So maybe she doesn't end up going in the fantasy suite because she breaks up with him right here once he tells her that he's in love with all of them. And then her
I
mind's
don't think
clearly
she's
blown.
going to
What do you
fantasy
guys think?
suites, to be honest. I don't think she's going.
Yeah.
Like the
yeah.
only clips we've been seeing are Gabby and Rachel in the fantasy suites. We've seen nothing with Susie. This is literally the last we see of Susie in any of these clips. So I fully agree with you, Zach. I think she's gonna walk away during that nighttime portion. So yeah.
I bet
And then walk.
maybe she gives him an ultimatum like you can't like sleep with anybody else like for sure or else I'm gonna leave. And then he's like, well, I'm not gonna do that. So then that's when she leaves.
I mean,
Maybe.
whatever she's going, I hope she's going to the set of the next Bachelorette promo photo shoot because we do not want to see Susie get hurt, okay? Let's check out the next clip. It's just gonna get more dramatic. We can see more signs. Everyone's breaking down. Let's look at it.
I shouldn't have to ask my future husband to not sleep with somebody else. I never thought
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
be in love with 3 of us. In love. I don't know what to do right now.
See, now it's like Rachel knows that he's in love with 3, but then we only see shots of Gabby and Rachel with the blue background where that rose ceremony is. So
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
because
was gonna
that's
say.
Rachel. So it's kind of confusing. And you see Susie in the hotel room. Like, what is she waiting outside the fantasy suites? Like, not wanting to go in? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I
don't
think it
even know.
must be Gabby and Rachel at the rose ceremony where he tells them that and he says both. And Susie must be gone before that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Susie must have had some sort of conversation during the sit down portion of the night, being like, hey, like, I don't know if you're gonna sleep with the other girls, but I'd rather you not. And Clayton, being Clayton, was probably like, well, whatever is gonna happen, Susie. And then that she probably didn't like
Yeah.
that answer and she probably left because I would have done the same thing, honestly. I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
But why can't Clayton just like be celibate? Why can't he just make a promise to not sleep with any of them until he picks one? I mentioned earlier, like I'm down to test the car before you
Because he's
drive
a
it.
straight
But I feel
man,
like when there's
Zach.
but like
Exactly.
not every But do you think that all the other straight bachelors, I mean there's only been straight bachelors. Do you think all the other bachelors slept with all 3 of the women? Like we would have found this out already, Gabby. Right?
Yeah, but he vocalizes it, which is the issue because no girl wants to hear that.
And do you think that this is paying tribute to the TikToks of Mizzou girls from Missouri who were calling him out in the beginning of the season for sleeping with everyone from his college? Is this starting to make sense? Did those girls have a point?
Yes.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh my
Stunning.
God. I love it.
The roast of Clayton
Oh my
Echard,
God.
ladies and
Clayton Echard. He's really gonna break some Bachelor milestones here, and he's really thinking with his below the pants and not his head. I mean, even Pilot Pete didn't sleep with all of them. I think he couldn't because Maddie was a virgin, but even he didn't do this. So Clayton, it's gonna be a lot for you. We have one more clip, and then I'll get your guys' final thoughts, and then we're opening it up to the Q&A, everyone. So if you're listening, get in that live chat right now. Let's watch this last clip.
It's the most shocking and emotional ending ever.
I'm so broken.
And then, it's an
Explosive women tell all. Oh my God, that's gonna be really exciting. Now, Jesse Palmer said it's the most shocking ending ever. Where is the clips for the proposal? Remember?
True.
Where is that? We usually see that every season. We haven't seen a ring in any trailer or teaser. I don't think The Bachelor is ending next Tuesday because I think we'll have After the Final Rose the week after. But I'm wondering if next Tuesday, all the girls leave him because he sleeps with all of them and falls in love. And then there's something else that happens. And then we have an episode, a live the week after. Or an episode the week after. It's just weird to not see a ring or a proposal.
I think they're saving all
Go
of that
ahead.
because they've been hyping this fantasy suite bombshell for so long. That's their main thing. So I feel like they're teasing it. We're gonna finally get it, and then they can have all this new footage of the proposal, the ring, and all that stuff leading up to that because they know we're gonna keep watching without that, I guess. So I think they're saving that. That's just my theory. I don't know.
Gianna? Don't be all quiet. You know.
The wheels in my head are just turning because now that you said that, even when past seasons have been teasing a big bombshell moment, they've always showed even the silhouette of the couple about to be engaged, or they show that infamous ring shot, and we're always trying to figure out whose fingernails are those, and we always see at least some, we really do. So that's a good point that we're not seeing anything. So
Is there another promo where they do show a ring or no? I swear I saw something where it was it was a ring because it was a pear shape, and I was like, ugh, not another pear shape ring. Come on, Clayton. So maybe I'm making that up and I'm
I don't
crazy.
remember. I don't think we've seen any promos. Maybe in the season trailer, the original one there was, so we'll have to watch that one back. But it's Neil Lane needs a job. So it's he better be showing up with the ring. And Clayton better propose because our last Bachelor didn't propose. We have not had a successful Bachelor relationship since Ari, okay? Matt didn't propose. He's still with Rachel, but he didn't propose. Peter, we all know what happened. Colton
They
ended
got
up gay.
engaged, though.
We have not had one. Wait, what did you say? Oh, yeah, they did get engaged. I mean, Peter had a lot of engagements. With the girls and the tell-all, I mean, that's probably going to be super epic as well. But I'm wondering, will the girls see each other after fantasy dates? Do we think they're staying in the same hotel? Are they going to talk? I'm wondering if they're going to be allowed to kind of communicate and share, what happened. Because they need to talk to each other so they know if they want to continue a relationship with him.
Yeah,
What do you guys
they
think?
have been doing that in recent seasons, forcing them to stay together and seeing what happens with that. I think Peter's
Yes.
season, and then
With Nate and Michelle and Joe, I remember that.
yeah. So I don't know.
yeah, they
Probably.
did do that because on Michelle's season, I remember the guys were getting jealous anytime one of them would come back from the fantasy suite,
Yeah.
just to be oh, just to know that that's happening. I hate thinking about it, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'm wondering if maybe someone's going to kiss and tell, and that's going to prompt Clayton, because I don't think Clayton would outwardly be like, hey, I slept with you guys. Like, I'm wondering now if one of the women is like,
No, but he
oh,
Yeah.
does do that. No, he
but
does
but
do
what if
that. I was intimate with both of you.
but what
Yeah,
if
but it
before
must have been
is what I'm
prompted by
saying is
something.
what prompted the conversation? What if, because the women are staying together, let's just say, for example,
Oh.
Gabby was like, hey, I actually slept with him, he, and then Rachel was like, that's funny because I also slept with him, he, and then they confront him, and that's when he says, well, yeah, I was intimate with both of you.
Oh. Oh my God. Okay. There's a lot to think about here. I see both of your points. And I mean, we need to open it up to this Q&A. We need to hear what you guys are thinking. Send us your opinions. We have the live chat going right now. Anything in Bachelor Nation you guys want to talk about, feel free to ask away. But right now, we're really trying to figure out what we think is going to go down. I kind of think that whoever goes last might be the most important, because think about it, like, he's sleeping with one girl first. If he was in love with the girl that he picked first, like if he was like, I know it, why would he have to sleep with the other girl? Or I mean, I don't think Susie's gonna end up sleeping with him, but it's like, do you think it matters if he sleeps with Gabby the first night, Rachel like the second night? Does that, you think, make a difference in his opinion, in his decision?
I don't think so. Like, I really don't
I
think
mean,
so.
if the first one, like you said, was amazing and perfect, then you probably wouldn't need to. So,
But it's also like you're in
Yeah.
bed with another beautiful woman. Obviously, like we said earlier, he's thinking with the downstairs area. Like, he's not going to be like, no, I'm good. No, thank you.
yeah.
I mean, the fantasy suites, things happen. You know, there's alcohol. They have condoms there. Like, they have all of the resources. I almost feel like producers maybe were egging him on, be like, go sleep with all of them. They want something dramatic. I don't think that it's ever been this talked about, like, in a long time. They're really just, you know, using Clayton for everything, because he's just, it's going to be a rough one. Colby says, so happy for Colton and his engagement. So yes, this
Okay.
is not Clayton, Colton. Colton, our gay bachelor, just got engaged the other day, and People magazine announced it. I guess he got engaged a couple weeks ago, but they announced it publicly. It kind of seemed a little fast, because I think he just came out of the closet less than a year ago, and he just started dating this guy, Jordan, you know, last summer. Gianna, did you happen to see the news?
I did see the news and I thought the same thing. I thought that that was pretty fast. It came out of nowhere because I feel like we were just talking about him coming out on Good Morning America like yesterday. But, you know, I'm not going to judge anybody for their decisions and how fast they want to move. If he's happy, then that's great for him. You know, at the end of the day, I'm glad he's finally living out his truth, and I hope that he can just be a better person and move on from his entire past too, because I think we're all hanging on to that still as well and holding him accountable.
For sure.
But yeah, so
For
hopefully he doesn't do
sure.
that again.
And I mean, love is love. So of course I'm, you know, happy for them. And I mean, he's still on that Bachelor timeline. You know, they get engaged really fast on the show. And Colton never got engaged on his season. So I think this is his first engagement. Gabby, do you want to take this question? It's a little bit of a little scandalous.
Oh, it's a little scandalous. Well, we welcome all types of questions like this here at Shared News. Scully says, would you pick a man who slept with both women? That is really tough. And I think the reason why the girls are so upset is because, based on what he was telling them, based on their entire experience this whole season, they were convinced, like, I'm the only one. We're in love. What we have is special, not like what he has with anybody else. And so when you hear that that's not the case, obviously your world is shattered. So, I mean, I would probably not go on The Bachelor in the first place to be put in this situation, but I would also probably say no to that. I would be very upset.
Because that's
Gianna,
the
what do you
thing. They
think?
could all break up with him. They could break up with him and be like, I don't want to be with you. You just slept with someone else. Like, he could be single.
Mhm.
There's no ring.
Mhm.
Gianna?
I
Take the
would
next
leave him
question,
right
Gianna.
away, to say the least. Next question though.
Same.
Ferda says Susie will leave Clayton, Gabby, and Rachel will be the finalists. I completely agree. I think all of us here on this panel completely agree with you. And I don't think Susie's just going to be the one leaving Clayton. I think when Gabby and Rachel are the final two, I think they're both going to end up leaving Clayton at the end of everything, and he's not going to end up with anybody. So yeah, that's a good prediction,
But
and I
could
am
he
right
win
there.
them back?
Maybe.
The season ended a few months ago. Like, he could have
Maybe.
tried to pursue a relationship after, and he could be back
100%.
with Rachel or Gabby.
Yeah.
They might have broken up with him, though, in that moment, but then it's possible that, like, weeks after, maybe he flew to their hometowns and, you know, talked to them again. We've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sandy says at least Susie got consultation prizes from her shopping date. I have a feeling that Susie is going to have plenty of consultation prizes and plenty of dresses in her near future. Just a little hunch. I think she's going to be fine. And honestly, like, I think Susie, if she does leave on her dinner date, like, good for her, because then what if he would have slept with her too? And then she would have been heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabby, why don't you take the next one?
This is the time to figure out who will be the next Bachelorette. Yes, we were paying very close attention to these last 4 ladies and even beyond, you know, Teddy, she's another great one, could be Bachelorette. So
Yeah.
I think any of them would be wonderful. And we're definitely going to be keeping our eye out. I would say my top pick, if I had to choose one, would maybe be Gabby, just because I feel like
Susie.
I feel like they're gonna pick Susie. I wish they would pick somebody else because it seems like it'll be just like a Hannah Brown season over again, which we've already had, and of course that was good, but like let's do a different direction. So, yeah.
I'm here for that. If they choose Gabby as the Bachelorette, like, I'm so here for that. I think she has a great personality. Patriot Lady says, he said I was in love with her, Susie, and I slept with both of you. See, that's kind of what I was pointing out. Both means two. So that's why I think he tells them he's in love with all of them and then only sleeps with 2 of them. Gianna, how are you interpreting this? I feel like we keep going back and forth.
We're like we've gone down so many rabbit holes on this one live stream. I'm like, I have a headache already. I
We're going to
stick
end
by
it
what
soon.
no, never. Let's just go on from till next week. I firmly
next week.
believe that he's telling all the women separately, I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you, I love you. And then when it gets down to the nighttime portion of the fantasy suite before they actually enter, you know, when they say, here's this key if you wish to forego your rooms, I think that Susie's going to be like, I do wish to forego my rooms because you're in love with both of them and you're going to want to sleep with I mean, she's not gonna she's gonna want her own room. She doesn't want to sleep with him because he's gonna want to sleep with other people. That's what I think is happening. And then I think the slept with both of you is after Susie is gone. If that's what this person is trying to say, that's what I think the timeline is gonna be.
Yeah. I think we're
her
all on the
theory
same page
is that
here.
I think Patriot Lady's theory is that Susie's one of those, though, one of those 2 that he sleeps with. So it could go many ways.
Oh.
Plot twist.
Oh.
Right?
I honestly, I mean, we really are just going to keep going back and forth. So we're going to have to wrap up this live unless anyone has anything else that we're missing. I feel like it's going to be so dramatic. And, you know, Mike Fleiss, the creator of The Bachelor, the executive producer, you know, he tweeted something along the lines of this season is unspoiled and it's not over yet. He's literally said it ain't over yet, ... So, I mean, it's just like we really don't know what's going to happen, and it's going to be dramatic. Hannah says Clayton was on Good Morning America, and he said he was in love and happy. Okay, well then this is breaking news, unless you're calling it Colton. But I think if Clayton was on this morning, then I got to check that out.
No, this is from when he was first announced as The Bachelor, and whoever was on Good Morning America was like, "Did you find love?" And he was like, I did find love and I'm very happy. And everyone was like, wait a second. Like, did you just spoil your entire season?
Oh,
But
yeah.
it
That was
was
so long
solid.
ago. Maybe this season was a long time.
It was a long time.
I
Interesting.
want
Yeah.
to rewatch that. I'm gonna rewatch that Good Morning America clip, and because I that makes a lot of sense now. He's probably with somebody, but I'm just wondering if they broke up with him like while filming, and then he like got back together after. Because it's like, how do you process that and get engaged with such a quick
Mhm.
turnaround?
Yeah, that's
This
true.
is, I'm at a loss on this season. Period.
Okay, well,
We'll find out
I mean,
soon, guys. Don't worry.
yeah, one more week away, and that's everything we have to share with you guys today. So let us know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining along our crazy theories. Leave yours below in the comments and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss out on any Bachelor, Bachelorette Nation news. As always, I am your host, Zachary Reality, joined by the lovely Gianna Gravelisi and Gabby Gonta. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow, come say hello, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.